Today's little chat is all about something I call test her. Guys, listen up. It's downright critical that you evaluate a woman before jumping into a romantic relationship with her. Women cracked this code ages ago. They're constantly sizing up men. Sadly though, the typical guy doesn't even consider doing the same when a woman shows interest in him. He's just thrilled to have her attention, and that's where the trouble starts. This mindset massively boosts the chances he'll end up tangled with someone who's risky, challenging, or even emotionally unstable over time. That's why I'm here, to guide you on how to steer clear of that mess. Truthfully, this topic's so big I'll probably need a few episodes to cover it all. But every journey's got to kick off somewhere, right? Now, there are all sorts of women you'll want to avoid getting mixed up with, and one type I've nicknamed the bomb. What's a bomb do? It blows up, sometimes with just the tiniest nudge. These are the women who'll lose it on you the moment you slip up or don't meet their expectations. I'm putting slip up and expectations in air quotes here because their version of right and wrong isn't tied to any deep moral compass. Nope, it's almost always about what serves them. What they want is good, and what they don't want is bad. People who cater to their wishes? They're golden. Those who don't? Labeled as toxic, selfish, or worse. When you accidentally set off one of these bombs, and trust me, some are super sensitive, they erupt with all the intensity of someone utterly convinced they're in the right. She might raise her voice, sulk, toss insults your way, throw stuff, or even hint at ending things altogether. These reactions scream immaturity or emotional chaos at their mildest, and at their worst, they could signal deeper personality issues. It's pretty obvious, but I'll say it anyway. This is not the kind of woman you want to build a relationship with. Why? Because you're locked into one of two paths. Either she keeps detonating, and you're stuck arguing or mopping up the fallout half the time, or you start dodging her triggers, living in constant caution. Either way, your days get stressful and way more complicated than they need to be. Honestly, it's smarter to just skip that headache from the start. Here's the silver lining. Dodging this type of woman is actually pretty simple. In fact, most of the time, you can spot them before you even get face to face, saving yourself a ton of effort, time, and cash. So, how do you pull that off? Think about what a bomb squad does with a suspicious package. They haul it somewhere safe and set it off on purpose. That controlled blast neutralizes the danger if it's a bomb, and if it's not, they carry on without worry. Better to be cautious than caught off guard, right? To get why this trick works, let's look at a workplace parallel for a sec. Dating and job markets run on similar vibes. Both are about sizing up who's worth your investment. I've said it before, dating's like a long job interview, and guys, you're the ones hiring since you're offering the relationship gig. In a job setting, interviews are partly about filtering out anyone who'd be tough to work with, and you want to do that as early as possible. One solid tactic? Ask the applicant about tasks they might not love but that come with the role. Picture this. Hey, this job might need you to work Saturdays. Cool with that? Most people would rather keep their weekends free, so it's a mild curveball. That's why it's revealing. It shows how much they want the gig, whether Saturdays are actually required or not. The way they respond gives you a peek into their attitude and flexibility. Even if it's not about weekends, it could be staying late, tweaking a project, or tackling a less fun task. You catch my drift. Their reaction spills the beans on their character, not just their interest. Let's say someone's really eager for a job. How would she reply to the Saturday question? She might chime in with, "Oh, no worries at all, you can rely on me." Or, if she's both keen and a bit sharp, she could say something like, "Normally, that's not my thing, but this company's mission means so much to me that I'm happy to bend a little here." That's a clever move. It makes the interviewer feel like they're getting something extra special, even though she was probably fine with it anyway. It's a neat trick to pull value out of thin air. Either way, both answers scream enthusiasm loud and clear. Now, picture someone who's only mildly into the gig. She'd probably try to haggle a bit. You might hear, "I could do Saturdays if you bump my pay up double." That might not sit well with the employer. but it shows she's bold enough to stir the pot and risk losing the chance. Why? Maybe the job's lost its shine for her, or she's got better options on the table. Either way, that's not the vibe of someone super invested. Then there's the person who gets downright offended by the idea. What? How dare you ask me to work weekends? That wasn't listed anywhere. Should I report you or something? Boom, there's your bomb. You've just set off a controlled explosion, and good job spotting it. Here's the thing, it's not just about refusing weekends. She could have easily said, "Sorry, that's not something I can do," and kept it chill. There's zero need to flip out on the employer, so her over-the-top reaction hints at either lukewarm interest or a sense that she's above the whole deal. People don't usually snap up the chain of command like that. They might vent down it, though. She's acting like she's gracing them with her presence, which is pretty entitled. If she had a better gig lined up, you'd think she'd be there instead, right? It's a haughty way to roll. No one's forced to work Saturdays, of course. Some people really cherish their weekend freedom, and that's fair, it's a priority for them. But priorities come with trade-offs. That's why we call them values. They're precious, and they cost you something. One price might be missing out on certain jobs. Why would a boss pick her over someone just as skilled who's cool with weekend shifts? By drawing that line, she's basically saying the risk of losing this opportunity weighs less than the hassle of working a Saturday. That's her call, and it makes sense. Guys can run their own, controlled detonations, on potential partners, and the smart move is to do it before the date even happens. That saves everyone time and hassle. One simple tactic? Ask her to send some photos before meeting up. I know, some people might raise an eyebrow at that, but hear me out, it's a solid idea for a few reasons. For starters, it's a low-key way to check if you're both seeing this the same way. It's like a signal that this isn't just a casual coffee chat or a job screening, it's a date with some intent behind it. Let's unpack that a bit more next time. This is a date, complete with all the romantic vibes and potential that comes along with it. Asking for pics up front doesn't just keep guys from stumbling into vague situations with women, it hands them valuable clues about her interest level and personality traits too. Guys need to get a read on both of those things as early as possible in the dating game. It's pretty obvious, but you should only be spending time on women who are clearly into you and who don't flip out or overreact. In today's world, the downsides of skipping this step are just too steep to ignore. So, let's break down the possibilities. If she's really into you and open to a romantic connection, how's she likely to reply? You nailed it. She'll send over some photos, maybe even toss in a little message like, "Let me know if you'd like anything else, wink wink." Now, if she's super interested and a bit savvy, she might go with, "I don't usually do this, but you seem so genuine, and I feel comfortable with you." Smart play. Not only does she follow through, but she makes the guy feel like he's special, squeezing extra value out of something she was okay with anyway. Nicely done. Either way, you can feel pretty solid knowing she's keen on a romantic vibe, and it's safer to take the next step. Flip the script though, what happens with the bomb? Oh, she'll blow up big time at that request. What? How dare you even suggest that? That's so rude and gross. I can't believe you'd ask me for pics. What kind of guy are you? Is that all you care about? Boom, there it is, a safe distance detonation. Well done. Her outburst makes it crystal clear she's not interested in anything romantic with you, even if she was fine with you spending your time, effort, and cash on a date. Plus, she's showing she feels entitled to shut down anyone who doesn't play by her rules for how dating, or a relationship, should go. That kind of reaction flows from someone who thinks they're above you, not the other way around. She probably figured she was doing you a favor just by agreeing to go out. Bottom line? She's hunting for a guy to slot into her world on her terms. Dating her would be a gradual grind, you'd lose yourself bit by bit. When you trigger a bomb like that, here's the key, don't get into a tug-of-war. Skip the urge to justify yourself, push her to agree, or fire back with snark. She actually did you a solid by revealing her true colors before you shelled out a single penny. If only it was always this straightforward. Just keep it cool and say something like, "Totally get it, thanks for your time." Then move on to the next person. This is just one way guys can test the waters with women. There are loads of other approaches too, but we're running short on time, so let's tie it up here. The pics aren't really the point, by the way. A woman can show she's interested and has a solid character without going all out. Maybe she keeps it subtle and classy. The goal is to gather trustworthy info on her attraction and personality before you dive in. That way, you're making sharper calls on where to invest your limited time and energy. What's your take? Does this line up with what you've seen out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear. Oh, and if you know someone who could use this advice, pass the episode along. Word of mouth shares like that are what help this channel grow, and I know you've got someone in mind. As always, I'm grateful for your support. Thanks for tuning in.